Hi everyone. Good morning. Since you guys have asked me to put this out 6 in the morning, I'll try and do this every day so it reaches you 6 in the morning. I hope you guys enjoy these podcasts. And today I thought I'll talk about how one can get swept away with news, how it's important to peel back the layers of news and to see a little bit further, even if it is good news. So, a couple of days back, an article came out, and we all got reading this article, me, Shashwat, and Anand, and everybody else. And it all sounded positive and it sounded so glowing. It sounded like a company we must all buy and all must invest in. And so, till we took a little step closer and looked a little deeper, then you realize, okay, yes, there are certain things which are true, certain things which are not so true. So I thought I'll talk about that. So it kind of gives you an idea on how I want you guys to approach any corporate news you see, even if it is some great news. How a placement of a news doesn't mean it's a buy or a sell, depending on the type of news, that you need to do a little more deep diving before you decide to move into something or not to take a position in something. What I'm going to talk about today is a big company, a very popular company. It's called Varun Beverages. So started by a guy called Ravi Kant Jaipuria. He was in Canada for some time, then he returned to India in the mid 80s. Him and his brother started working in PepsiCo in the 90s. And over time, with his relationship and his network within PepsiCo, uh, Varun Beverages came to dominate as a franchisee in India. They were doing bottling for Pepsi from the 1990s all the way till now. They were one of the biggest uh, franchisee bottlers outside the United States for PepsiCo. After the initial unsuccessful PepsiCo's energy drinks Sting saw, uh, now its sales are surging 3.5 times what it is from 2020 post its relaunch. It accounts for 15% of Varun Beverages' total India volumes. Their H1 revenues was at 9,500 crores, which is like $1.4 billion, with profits over 145 crores. They also ventured into PepsiCo snacks and hinting at potential growth. They have another company called Devni International's Growth, which is similar to Varun Beverages. Devni International is another Jaipuria's company, and it's witnessed a rise in, especially in Pizza Hut. They do franchisees that focuses on shift from dine-in to delivery during the pandemic, leading to increased stores and revenue. This all is under JR Corp's diversified investments. Jaipur's holding company, JR Corp, has stakes in various sectors that's with notable investments in global health and Lemon Tree Hotels. And it's an interconnected corporate board with interconnectedness among the board of the companies Jaipuria is involved in, suggesting a strong network. And Varun Beverages might expand into PepsiCo snack, while Devani International aims to grow and reach into food sector and strive to match its competitors like Jubilant. And we all know Anand's opinion about Jubilant. So, to conclude, Ravikant Jampuria, strategic thinking, adaptability, and his leveraging of his network within PepsiCo, and has given him a big domestic success. So, capitalizing uh, on this, the article talks on and on about it, and it sounds brilliant. And it sounds like Varun Beverages is now ranked as one of the fourth largest FMCG companies in India, which is being traded, and it's wonderful. Only thing people are little concerned about is this capitalizing of interest, which is nothing but what is capitalization of interest? Capitalization of interest is, let's say there's an asset under construction and there's interest cost on that asset. You write it in your books such that you put off paying that interest in your on your books and you show a larger profit. The rationale behind showing such a thing is to show the asset anyways intend to be used much later only when the asset is ready to be used. So there's no reason to show the interest now on the books. So why lose today's profit for something that's going to only come in use tomorrow? There's a accounting terminology or methodology which is generally accepted. And what is it? Is it a good thing to do or not good thing to do? Well, it all depends on the amount of debt. And Varun Beverages does have a lot of debt. So if everything is so glowing about it, what is the problem? Well, the problem for me is the company is mainly held by the promoters, and very little is traded in by the domestic investors. If you look at the owners, promoters are holding around 64% of the company. FIS have 27%. The DI has 3%, and the public only has 6%. So if you remove the FIS and the promoters share, that's like a whopping almost 90% of the company. And in terms of FII, if you look at it, it's not very clear who are these FIIs. And after the Adani incident, I really don't know who owns and how these FIIs really work and how do they structure themselves. I really don't know where the money is coming from and how it's structured. Then, them being just a bottle company, they do have a lot of borrowings. Why do they need to borrow so much? I can't understand. And it's been a steady growing in borrowings. If you look at it, the long-term borrowings has been going up, and even the short-term borrowings are going up and up. Short-term borrowings are what is they'll be demanded to pay within the year. So these things are of concern. Then they do have other liabilities. Trade payables are also quite large, and they have other liability items, which I really don't know, which I'll guess we'll have to deep dive into their books and see. But why is this article so glowing about this? The reason why this article is so glowing about Varun Beverages is when they launched the IPO, which was, I think, a couple of years ago. Uh, if you had invested, let's say, one lakh in the IPO, which was 225 rupees a share, 225 shares at 445, you would have had three bonuses and share splits. After that, you would have had around your 225 shares would have become 1,518 shares. Your 1 lakh today would be standing at the price of 915 per share, over 13 lakhs, almost 14 lakhs. And they've been paying dividends out steadily. At 8 times they pay dividends out. So considering the bonus and splits, they paid around 8,630 rupees as dividends. The IPO was at 2016. So from 2016 to now, which is around 7 years time, you would have seen handsome returns. Yes, that is the main reason this article is going glowing stories about him and how he is uh, listed in Forbes list of billionaires, and he has over $10 billion now in net worth. Yes, but as an investor, you cannot read this and get excited and say, "Shall I dive into this?" Simple reason. I have a couple of things. One, if you look at the fundamentals right now, the PE ratio is over 63. 63 is just way too expensive. Even Hindustan Lever is not trading at that kind of a premium. Hindustan Lever is right now trading at a premium of 57 PE ratio. So even Nestle India's, which is higher than them, is at 78. Britannia is at 51. Godrej Consumer is 59. So they're being valued more than Britannia, Godrej, Dabur, Marico. So the companies which are above them are only P&G, Nestle, and even Procter, what do you call Colgate Palmolive is below them. So, and Hudson Agro, of course, is above them. But even taking that into consideration, the basic fundamental premise of their business, both their businesses, be it Varun Beverages or their other sister concern, is that they are operating franchise. They don't have a product of their own, which is the same problem Anand has with Jubilant. They don't have something which is there. There's real no moat. They have a very strong partnership because of his long-standing relationship with PepsiCo. You're seeing this, and this can shake up at any point of time for any number of reasons. There is no real protection for this company, and without PepsiCo's partnership, there's not much future in this company. And the amount of debt they have, Devani International has got Pizza Hut and all that, which is also franchisees. Both the companies really don't make anything by themselves. And KFC, Pizza Hut, Greenbell, Costa Coffee in India, yes, they all operate through them. But for some reason, And we have seen this. We don't have to say like, "Wow, it's not possible. It's not possible." Yes, it's very much possible. How the MNCs all had to pull out of Russia, for instance. That was the reason. There could be any number of reasons for them to pull out, and it's happened in India in the past too. Coca-Cola left India. Lots of companies left India in the 1970s. We should read Indian history about that, and you'll be surprised why they left and what was cause of the reason for them to leave. And if all that happens, this can become very sour very fast. So that is my main concern. Other than that, price is way too high. Yes, like the article says, if you had invested way back when they went into the IPO, yes, you would have made returns. But at the current pricing where it stands at, there's no way you can enter it. You'll have to see a really ludicrous amount of correction to happen for you even to think about entering this kind of a company. And with the amount of debt, I don't know. I wouldn't be keen on putting my money into this. These are the main reasons I would not consider. Though initially looking at the article and reading about his background and his the whole case study about him and his company, it sounded so nice. It sounded unbelievable, and everyone and anyone who reads it would be very keen to go invest into this kind of a company. But when you peel back and look at the company for by itself, and you take out all the glowing stories behind it and the owner, and you actually look at the brass tacks, then it kind of paints a different picture. So this is the way I would like you to approach these kinds of news. Lots of you read these corporate newses, you see something very interesting written about a company or an owner or a promoter, a small cap company, and you feel like, okay, I must maybe should be putting my money in this. Maybe this is something fantastic. And I would like you to take your time and step back, take a moment, breathe in a little bit, and then analyze it. Open and see what is this company really doing. Is there a moat, like what Warren Buffett says? Is there, an intrinsic value that I would peg it around probably 260 for this company? At this price, it's way above. There's no margin of safety for you even to look at it. So when you look at all that through our purview, our lens of as a value investor, I would not be putting any money into this right now, at least the way it is. So I want you to think about it like this. So a lot of you do ask me, on Instagram and everywhere, how do you guys go about thinking? How do you guys decide on investing on a company? How do you do it? How do you do it? So this is how we do it. It's as simple as this. We read a bit of news, sounds interesting. We deep dive and look a little bit further. We research a little bit more. And if there is something more interesting, then we dive a little more. This so happens that there was nothing interesting in this beyond this. As of now, there's no need to put any more time into this. So we walked away and moved on to the next one. Hopefully, the next one which I happen to glance upon like this, or Anand happens to glance upon, but will be something that we keep diving and diving, getting further into, and it might be something. Oh, we want to put some money into this. Looks like there's something valuable in this. If that does happen, of course I'll share it with you. It's not like I'm going to keep that away from you guys. So this was Varun Beverages for you guys today, and I hope you found this interesting as you start your day today and you get going. This conversation was some food for thought as you open your newspaper and you look at it and you see anything interesting, or you happen to get on the train or the bus and someone shares some information about another company. Before you get excited, I want you to do this. Anyway, that being said, thanks for joining me today morning on Be Rich Podcast with me. And do think about subscribing to this channel and turning on the bell notification as always. Other than that, don't have much more to say. Have a good one. See you tomorrow.